And we are here for round number 8 here in Marble GP Championship Season 8 here at the Berghaming. And I will revert back to the outro music I was using because, well, I guess I just wanted to do something silly because we had a completely fresh podium in the last round, and it happened, at least in the qualifying, that did. As you can see here, there's the starting order. I mean, to be fair, these three marbles qualifying good. That's not anything really new at all, but even then, didn't expect to see it actually happen, but it did. And off they go for the first lap out of 11. Benito still has this lead. Ashland and East Weymouth are still holding second and third. Not many positions have changed, but it's just the beginning. And there you see Ashland gets by Benito as though a whole herd of marbles. And there's also a whole herd of marbles just fighting to not get stuck in the loop. And it looks like a couple of victims have been claimed there. Anyways, who's leading now? The scoreboard says Paris, France. Now it's Holbrook in front of Jaya and Creek. And there goes Kyoto getting by Creek for third place. And 6 marbles get stuck in... Okay, the entire order just showed up so fast on the left side that I barely even had time to describe it before it covered the entire part of the screen. But Holbrook still has the lead. No, Creek has the lead. And after Cupertino got 3 dead lasts in a row, that is looking very good for them. But now Kyoto, speaking of dead last, they're in that position individually right now. And this might be the round where they get out of it. Of course, they just entered it for the first time last round, and now Jaya has the lead in front of Holbrook and Seminole. And Jaya has the lead, but actually Holbrook's fastest lap still holds. You might have noticed it actually was like that. You know, the timer was like beside their 3LC since the end of the first lap, and that was because that time by Jaya on the second didn't actually beat theirs on the first, but nevertheless, Jaya, their lead is still holding, heading into lap 3. Holbrook gets by. Obviously, the order's not going to update until after the first 3 marbles leave the funnels, and now let's see who comes out on top. It is Sprouston, unbelievably enough. And now let's see who actually triumphs here. Benito and Ashland are back to the top 2 where they started. And let's see if it holds that way. Yes, Holbrook is back in a third place, followed by Hamburg, who, to the surprise and cheer of the crowd, is in 4th. And half the marbles cannot even finish that lap. And now, speaking of DNFs, I see a couple marbles get stuck up there, and now we're in lap 4. Holbrook goes by Ashland for second place. Paris, France takes third. Benito still holds the lead, and then Paris, France gets it from them, and then Jaya and Holbrook, and then Paris, France gets through that red funnel like it was non-existent, and has the lead, and assumedly will take fastest lap once they cross the line here, and yes, 28.15. That is the new mark to beat. Milpitas is also past Jaya for second place. I will say somehow, but no, I won't actually, because this is an unpredictable track, obviously. And unpredictable sums up this entire track greatly. And now, 2 blue marbles who are a bit familiar with the top 2, I suppose, are in it right now. But Milpitas gets swarmed by a ton of marbles, loses definitely more than just second and third there to Creek and Sprouston. And who has the lead back? It is Insadong. Where on earth have they come from? They were up there decently far in the starting order, but since the round started, okay, well, now they've lost a bunch of positions. Maharashtra comes up to third place, I suppose, predictably enough, and Vermont and Jaya are the only 2 marbles ahead of them, pretty fittingly, because their teams are 1-2 in the team standings right now, so they could pull really far ahead if they do really well here. And unsurprisingly, a lot of marbles failed to finish that 5th lap, and now onto the 6th one, as Vermont and Jaya continue to intensify this so much that I am struggling to keep my breath with all this intensity. Not even really talking about it, but, you know, whatever. And now Calhoun, speaking of spicing intensity up, holds the lead in front of Vermont and Jaya. I believe those 2 were at the top 2 in the individual standings. Actually, no, that wouldn't make any sense because Ampang was in the last round, and obviously there was no way they were going to get less than 2 points. And they almost did, actually, unbelievably, but Vermont is definitely going to overtake them. It might even overtake Calhoun with what this order has to shape up. They don't get best gainer here, does Calhoun, because with the way this order is looking right now, looks like they might, as we move on to the 7th lap. Of course, I don't know really what half of an odd number is, but this is a little over halfway through this round, I suppose. And Vermont's lead continues to grow now as East Weymouth gets by. Holbrook, but doesn't really mean anything because it's not in the top 3. Now both marbles are behind Hotham, who has come from last to first. I'm going to start calling them that now because I recently learned that it's not Hotham, it's Hotham. Yeah. I did use Google Translate in question to what I said about them in the previous video, but they fall right back down the order, down into whatever position it was. Let's just take a look at it. 14th. Wow. And East Wing that's taking the lead from Jay, and Benito, who was on the pole position, fell a long ways in the next few laps after that, and is now back into the top 3, trying to do what Leon failed to do in 2 of their rounds now, and get on the podium. And they at least finished top 5 like Leon in both the first and most recent rounds. Well, judging by what just happened there, probably not, but we'll just take a look at it. And, well, Brafton got up to 2nd place, but I suppose the one ahead of them in Boston. I suppose not predictable for the season, but here at the Berghaming, it is anything but something that nobody believed would happen. And Paris, France is now in 3rd place, and each lane goes from 1st to the last finisher here in this lap. I suppose anything could happen, so I wouldn't count that possibility out just yet of them coming back to maybe finish on the podium and do a bit better than Redcliffe in the last race and really turn what has been a terrible title defense for their team around. Redcliffe already started doing that last round, and now let's see what happens here. All right. Oh, Hotham has the lead. No. I was going to start, I keep screwing that up, but anyways, Hotham, they have the lead in front of Jaya and Interdong. And Hotham is going to keep holding the lead. They've come from last to first, and Interdong comes from seemingly nowhere as well. They started in the mid-pack, actually. But throughout this race, they've been nowhere to be seen. But they're in 2nd place ahead of Jaya, who has definitely been somewhere to be seen in this race to try and make up for what Ampang did in the last round. And now, penultimate lap of the race. As we see here. I think this might be the first lap where everybody actually got past that pinwheel. Alright, here we go. Benito has come up in 3rd place, Jay in 2nd, so Interdong lost a couple positions at least. And that order is still not updated yet. And Hamburg to cheer the crowd as they say, oh yay. And they're trying to imitate what Toulouse did and do what Ampang couldn't 2 rounds before and win at their home track, fittingly ahead of Ampang's teammate as Holbrook falls off the course there, and they'll go back to 20th place because that's definitely Ashelman there in 19th. And they're in 2nd last now. They've came from 2nd. Yeah, that's just a microcosm of how far they've dropped in every round they've been in so far. Let's see where they finish here. I bet it will be no points again, but they already got 2 from qualifying, so I guess that's something. And now Jaya, their lead is continuing to hold. Kowloon has it, and Rocklaw is in 2nd, amazingly enough. They have been so far back down the order, and they are in the lead now. And, yep, it's going to hold unless they get past in this white path here. No, they do not. Jaya just pushes them across, and Interdong steals Kowloon's podium away, and Rocklaw wins it here at Berghaming, here in round number 8. And that will make up perfectly for what Malopolska did in the last round, as we see some flashy editing on the screen right here. Rocklaw gets 26 points. Finally gets the best gainer after 3 rounds of a lot of spots being gained. Well, really just 2 and then not much on the 3rd, but they still have been gaining a lot of spots every single round, and this is the one where they finally gained enough to get that award and jump their team up into 4th place in a tie with Hong Kong for 3rd. And Kuala Lumpur's now the first team to crack triple digits, and they take the lead back from St. Albans by 7. And in the individual standings, Vermont predictably jumps back into 2nd place as Kowloon stretches their lead from 3 points to 10. And Ampang falls at the podium with Rocklaw getting the win and that Best Gainer award. And we will see you next time for round 9 at Florida Freeway, which surely will build some suspense heading into the finale of Mexico City Palindrome. So stay tuned and happy Easter.